You wanna know something? I am super pro slut. And after I am done with all this bullshit, I will tell you why. My name is Davey, and you are watching me on air. Right, so, if you have known me for a little while, or if you've been watching my videos, you should probably have figured out by now that I am super anti-Puritan bullshit. I genuinely believe that one of the worst things that has ever happened to mankind is this idea that sex should be considered evil. No, I'll go even further than that. Sexuality is a keystone of human existence, and anyone who denies that inalienable fact is committing treason against their own humanity. Okay, so maybe not that far, but I'm just saying, if sexuality is a part of being human, then running away from it is pretty much blocking off a part of yourself, curbing your full potential as a human being. And then there's also the other end of the idea, which is that sex is this special thing that should be hidden away and given only to that special someone. And somehow giving it away to anybody diminishes that value. It's as if having sex gives up too much of yourself and you won't be worth anything to the next person to come along if you do it at all. Firstly, that is silly for practical reasons. Given the choice between two people, one who is well practiced in the art of sex and one who is a virgin, all else being equal, I would totally choose the first one. No awkward fumbling from me. Second, consider the huge and severely incorrect logical leap going on with that shit. I mean, the whole concept is that you gotta have sex with only the right person or else you're gonna get hurt. Or if you have sex too soon, you end up ruining your relationship. Or sex is a dirty secret part of yourself that only comes out against your will. And you know what? It doesn't really sound like sex is the problem in any of that. It's just the easiest thing to point out and blame. No, the actual problem here is trust. Sex is a matter of surrendering a part of yourself and giving in to urges you've been told are bad. And it's totally okay to be careful of who you trust, and to make sure that the people you trust with your deepest and most intimate self are worth trusting. But when you're judging other people for just being more trusting than you are, or for considering sex as separate from that trust issue, then that would just be wrong. Really, when I think of it, it just boils down to this gross worship of purity as being the ideal. I mean, it's basically the worst thing ever. This is why people are so obsessed with the single idea of womanhood, of being pure and chaste and weak, and at the same time goes for manhood being all about violence and invincibility and perfect control. Pretty much the same problem that makes people so invested in the idea of race, which, by the way, anthropologically speaking, does not even exist. Never mind how this overzealous worship affects religion and treatment of differently gendered persons, etc. Nature knows what it's doing, and it turns out, by natural example, things are better and stronger when they take parts of the world and make it part of themselves. When people change. And that purity thing is just totally counter to that. Flour and water and sugar need to be attacked by yeast before it can be warm, delicious, and whole, yummy bread. I just really have to go back to my thesis that people need to be comfortable with whatever shape their sexuality takes in order to be truly functioning humans. Of course, that also means that if you don't want to be having sex all over the place and want to concentrate your experiences on meaningful, specific, and quality-driven interactions, then good for you. I just really feel like people shouldn't feel bad about themselves if one day they wanted to break their special rules and just decide to have fun. And really, stop with the judging. Sex is not as big a deal as people think it is. Pretty much like all the rest of sexuality as a whole. As long as you're at peace with it, you'll be okay. Sex itself is just too beautiful of a human experience for people to be so damn afraid of.